What's up, Go enthusiasts? Welcome to Game 4 of the Games of Blood and Tears between Huang Lingshe and Zhu Jingyu. You can check out the previous games for the detailed information on the match. Zhu Jingyu has won all three so far. And Huang Lingshe, he said that he has 3 stones over Zhu Jingyu, but Zhu Jingyu's title is 2 stones. You know, Er Shao means he's 2 stones from the top, which is Guoshuo. Huang Lingshe has to prove it. We've been watching these games, and I think the reason why these games haven't been covered in the full series on YouTube before is because it's silly. Like, Huang Lingshe is just losing. Why can't he win? He's supposed to be one of the greatest players of all time. In my opinion, pretty clearly the greatest in comparison to his contemporaries, like in the place where he is. But Huang Lingshe can't win. Well, this game we're going to see, Huang Lingshe has changed his winning strategy a little bit. He starts with a 3-4 in the lower right. And then he approaches right inside of Black's potential moyo. Huang Lingshe is interested in playing a very, very weak game. Meaning, when Black plays here, he's not okay with just defending his one weak stone. He wants to make another weak group. And when Black takes the open corner, he wants to make another weak group. The point is, Huang Lingshe wants to take care of weaknesses in a way which is complicated. And within those complications, gain on Zhu Jingyu and win the game. He is tired of doing things the normal way. He's done things the normal way. In game 1, he played so standard and accurate, he gained 15 points in the opening, and then he couldn't gain anything after that, because the strategy wasn't easy for him to play. So this game, he's setting up his own strategy. He's ready. When Black plays this base-taking move, and all 3 white stones are under attack on the left side, White simply defends one nicely in the corner. You can tell Huang Lingshe understood even what we would think about the opening many, many hundreds of years later, that, wow, if you can take the corner like this and the other guy gets a small base on the side, White's territory just looks a bit bigger than Black's, right? White has 3 stones, Black has 3 stones, but White's territory is bigger. That's a win, right? Well, we keep going. Little gain, little gain. This is how Huang Lingshe plans to defend his groups and gain, right? If you just force your opponent who's attacking you to end up small, then where is their stuff going to be? Like, how are they going to get paid off for all of these prospective attacks as long as you can just save everything well? That's the plan. Huang Lingshe jumps. And Zhu Jingyu kicks. He's hoping to harass these 2 white stones and force them to run further to the center and then split with this one stone, make a nice splitting attack. It would be beautiful, it would be wonderful. Huang Lingshe has other plans. He plays the Hane and the Connect on the second line. This we would never really see nowadays, and I think for good reason. This is a really, really heavy move. Meaning, after you play this move, you can't really sacrifice these 3 stones reasonably. I mean, sometimes you can, but most of the time you can't. These days, defending your stones is all about being light. And light in Go literally means I'm willing to sacrifice, and heavy means I'm not willing to sacrifice. That's the only definition of those 2 words. I know some people get confused because, I mean, some people use them in the wrong context, but really light and heavy has no connotation other than how sacrificable is this stuff. When we're defending nowadays, we like to be light because we like to die. It's very common that you should just let your opponent capture a stone or 2 and instead switch to the new area, defend another area, take a position running out, something like that. Back then, Huang Lingshe, with 3 stone handicap giving, he's not thinking he can sacrifice very easily in this game. And so this doesn't really have the same kind of downside if he was already planning to save most of the time anyway. Now, that's kind of a strong statement because still, if Black would just defend over here, I can't even really understand what Huang Lingshe gained from making himself heavy on the bottom side. But fortunately for him, Black didn't do that. Black instead played a jump on the right side. And the reason why Black did this is Black is trying to target White's 1 space jump here. He's trying to wedge, cut, and kill the White group. And he'd be okay if White defended that. If White defends that in some sort of small, basic way, not taking a very good shape, like for example Atari and Tiger's Mouth, something like that, that isn't very special, that's okay. Zhu Jingyu accepts that. So Huang Lingshe tries to do something fancier. He plays the attach here. and black backs off. Black did not want to play the hane because then white would get the bump here in sente. Now, should we actually not play the hane because white would get the bump there in sente? No, I mean, this is totally unreasonable by black, but still, he played it like this because he wants to keep his aji of aggressive option later. White played the attach in the corner. Once again, this indirectly defends against the wedge, because if black wedges, if white can just save by making two eyes, one in the corner, black's center would not be as much territory as the corner. So black feels like he has to block like this. Actually, he could have been more patient, more defensive, more trade willing. But that's not Zhu Jingyu. He's thinking he's going to wedge here. He's going to try to attack this white. Well, now white plays here. And this becomes quite dangerous for black. Quite dangerous. At this point, black plays here because he realizes that he cannot do this one. If he would do this one, white would bump and peep. And already these black stones have gotten in such massive trouble, they're basically dead. At least the bottom two stones are. And this is clearly a huge victory for white. And so that's why black defended instead like this. But this way, white can push on the third line, creating two cutting points, then play here. So he's making black handle the cutting points on the third line, on the second line here first. Black connects like this, and then playing this Atari. And now what you see is that what he's created for himself two cutting situations that black has to handle on the left side later. So this is a much healthier shape that white has made, defending himself, and he can block like this, and black has no option but to cut. Otherwise, this would just be way, way too good for white. Already, still, it's pretty comfortable when white just plays descend one time and jump. What's happened here, Huang Shi got attacked like he wanted to, and then black managed to secure the corner while attacking, but white managed to secure a really nice, influential shape with his weak group. And that is going to help him in the upcoming fight. That's his goal here. So black plays a hane underneath, defending his group in the upper left, making sure that doesn't get too weak, and black can allow white to take this Atari, can run the stone out. And white critically here finds a very, very important step. He plays the tiger's mouth here, and the hane on the first line. It's not exactly necessary to interpose that now, but he did. It's not really necessary to hold it. You could instead wait to play the descent to the first line in sente as well, but this one there's better chance that white can harass in the corner with like this diagonal move. Anyway, the point is white played this jumping move, and Huang Shou is correct to do this. I think I would think about playing here, and this is a significantly worse method than the one that Huang Shou chose, because this way black is of course going to continue extending. Then we kind of are giving ourselves a problem on the bottom side like this, and when we fix it, we haven't given ourselves enough time to take a confident, like healthy shape on the left side as well. So it makes sense to instead play this way, hane and jump. This way, what Huang Shou has done is he's set up a better direction for himself to run in the top side later, and he's gotten ahead of these two black stones. So this time when he harasses these two black stones and forces them to connect back, he's going to be able to defend himself in much cleaner, better shape. So Zhu Jingyu saves the stones. It's very natural. The push insertion there was very reasonable as well, creating some cutting points for white, and that allows black to think about cutting when hane is here, but it is a 3-stone handicap game, so Zhu Jingyu just ends up backing off. There's nothing particularly wrong with backing off right away. It does force Huang Shou to answer, try to make sure that he makes his two eyes on the bottom side here, and Zhu Jingyu simply connects solidly, trying to deny white the chance to play any sente move to gain two eyes on the bottom side cleanly. However, we're going to see in the game, Huang Shou will lift this group with a nice sequence anyway, so it probably would have been better to take this opportunity to cut, even though it means that the bottom side will be stronger, as long as black gets better fighting control. in the center. That's what really matters here. And Huang Lingshe punishes that slight slackness by Zhu Jingyu by connecting here. Of course, black can fix like this, but when white plays this move, just connecting, it sort of looks like you can try to kill this white, but unfortunately you just can't. Even though you have that peep, you can see black now plays away playing a peep. And you can feel free to try to solve the Sumego, but there is no way for black to kill this, even though there's only one eye here. On the bottom side, you may have seen this Tetsuji before. Here, if white plays all the way like this, then black could wedge and kill the group. Fortunately, white has a better move. At this point, white can play here. The tiger's mouth right away is key, threatening to make an eye capturing this one stone and an eye here. So even though black can take away this in Sente, white has Miai, 2 threats to live. If black plays here first, which if white would answer, would then create a killing shape, white has the extension and the empty triangle to live. So Huang Lingshe had read that all out. He knew that this group was going to live from here. That's why he knew that he could connect. And Zhu Jingyu has to continue trying to take an initiative against this group or an initiative throughout the rest of the board. This has kind of been Huang Lingshe's success. Taking care of this group was very natural, ended up with a good shape. Taking care of that group, it was natural, ended up with decent shape. But even though it's Huang Lingshe's success, black didn't do anything horribly wrong. And black stones at the end are not like terribly misplaced. There's nothing that's looking very silly. So even though white has gained a little bit from the very beginning, it's nothing special. This is not how Huang Lingshe wants to win this match. This is not yet possible to win. Well, how should continue? Make another weak group. Why not? Approach another thing. Black pincers. This time, Huang Lingshe starts defending it right away. I think he figured, what happened on the left side. He left all these weak groups, but then because he didn't want to sacrifice them ever, it basically was worse than just defending them right away. If he would defend them right away, then he could gain more strength with them. But he let black get more and more power, and that's why white ended up getting sort of squeezed here. There's only that one precise route to even have a whisper of a chance of leading this game. Black continued to jump on the outside. I like that move a lot, keeping a lot of pressure on these 2 stones. And because Huang Lingshe didn't have any clean way to take a base with them or anything, he chose to pincer. This is an interesting move. Always very interesting when Huang Lingshe chooses to pincer like this, and we get a involved fight between these 2 groups where white has a weak group there, and of course black is trying to stay strong in the middle. This original jump, there's not going to be any problem with that one. When white takes a 2 space, not going to be any problem with that either. And black takes a 2 space on the top side. Black is still playing quite solidly. I think he is still in the mood from the last game, where he realized he was leading at some point and just did lots of very basic things. I get the sense that he's trying to do the same thing in this game, although he hasn't killed any of Huang Lingshe's groups. It's actually true that like when he has a 35-point lead at the beginning, if he just does basic things and doesn't do anything stupid, he will be fine. That's what Huang Lingshe is trying to exploit. He plays this attach. And everybody knows that you should Hane this. Even Zhu Jingyu, I'm sure he knew. But he backed off. He just played the descend back. He's like, yeah, I mean, of course I'm supposed to Hane, but when I play here, even though you take the 3/3 from me and you get some base over there, like I still have some pushes and cuts. The shape doesn't look that bad for me. And Huang Lingshe is like, yeah, okay, maybe the shape isn't that bad for you, so I'll just make a different shape then. I'll try to attach underneath. And we get this fight, where Zhu Jingyu could have tried to live underneath, but unlike the game we saw earlier, where black already had this stone, white had peeped, this time Huang Lingshe has set it up properly, where he can play this descend and then fix. However, even though black can live here, that doesn't mean it's good. This is white's variation. So black tried to switch instead. It's, very alert. Zhu Jingyu this whole game was paying a lot of attention to what could go wrong and trying to make sure that whatever he did was stable, at least. If not, if not the absolute best way to play. That's what you should do when you have 3 stones. As long as you stay stable the whole game, how can white possibly catch up? Well, white catches up a little bit here. He gets a little bit of territory, allows black to break through in the center. This is going to work really well with some potential attack on the white group on the left side later, but only if Zhu Jingyu attacks it. And Huang Lingshe is not scared. He, if this was an even game, he should definitely play some move over here and make sure that he's healthy with that group. Make sure that he has a route in to reduce over there. Like it's a really no-brainer, most valuable area. Everyone knows. But he plays here instead because Huang Lingshe is thinking, I'm gonna set something really big up in the lower right. I'm gonna let you attack over there. I'm gonna defend myself very naturally. Probably he's planning to run to the bottom side here and counterattack this whole black someday. One of the things about Huang Lingshe, he never forgets cuts. He never forgets his opponent's weak groups, even if they're not really accessible anytime soon. He's willing to make anything into his master plan. That's why he plays the wrong direction here. He's patient, even though basically we all know that this is wrong. So what? What are you gonna do about it? This is planning to make the dynamic fight that Huang Lingshe needs to win a game. And so Zhu Jingyu wants to dodge it. He doesn't attack. He's like, yeah, I know you want to attack me. I know that's so obvious that I can just attack you, try to build this whole area, and, how can this white group even save that easily? It looks so obvious. But why should I do anything? That's what he says. He knows, wait, Huang Lingshe didn't play here, because if he does, that's fair. That's not special. That's just like, okay, that's kind of cool. That's good. It's fair. I'm just gonna let Huang Lingshe take all the fair things that he wants this game. That's what Zhu Jingyu says. I'm just gonna break up the territory, and then look, black has territory there. White doesn't have anything big enough to match it. Easy win. Huang Lingshe wants Zhu Jingyu to run. He takes the corner, and when Zhu Jingyu continues by haneing here, Huang Lingshe plays here. I mean, this is natural, for sure, but what about this move? If we play this one, then this is going to allow black into the corner if he wants. We can get some variation like this. Black saves in the corner very nicely. But white saves himself nicely too. White gets the sente to go over here. He has good influence. This is fair and slightly better than fair even for white. I mean, white's efficiency is quite good on the right side, on the bottom side. The fact that he got sent. This is a good variation. But Huang Lingshe does this one instead. Because how can he win if he just gets stuff that's fair? He needs black to make another weak group here, run it out, have his weak group on the left side run out somehow, like have all these things happen. He needs complication. And he gets this move. This might just be the start of the complication that Huang Lingshe needs. I'm sure he felt a little chipper about this, I mean, this looks pretty good. But he kind of has to just extend here. Hane wouldn't quite work the way that you'd like it to. If black plays here and here, you have to defend this somehow. Like it becomes really awkward. Basically, there's something going on there, but if black can save that and save this is obviously going to be a good variation for black. So extend instead is trying to not interfere with the cut that black already has on the second line, and black just extends up, and white needs to extend up again, and black plays Hane and connects, and white needs to answer over here. Actually, you could argue, because there is that Aji already, there's no need for white to try to cut on the second line. Like maybe now is the time where white can fall back and do some other thing, maybe connect over here, or maybe even somehow defend this group and prevent that really actually strong attack that black can do at any time. Instead he plays here and here because he wants to push black down, to give black some cuts. Pressing here is looking to force black into having some bad shape, and pressing here is asking to kill these 5 stones. Black connects back to them. And white plays the wedge and connect. He was already alive here, so why did he play wedge and connect? because he wants to make a cutting point here. He wants to run out a group in this area to attack this, even though he already has this horribly weak group on the left side and even a whole bunch of weaknesses on the right side here. I mean, basically, Huang Lingshe's play in this game is really unreasonable in comparison to his play in the previous games. But it's because he realized that reasonable just can't cut it against a player of Zhu Jingyu's caliber. Zhu Jingyu plays attach, tiger's mouth, and cut. And this is a really good way in general to take care of yourself when you know you have a couple weaknesses, but your opponent also has weaknesses. You just start a fight and force them to handle them fairly, right? Basically, Zhu Jingyu here he's not fighting to do something really intense. He just wants white to either sacrifice this group or run it out fairly. Whatever happens, let it be fair and then let the game end. He doesn't want for white to somehow do these scam things that white has been aiming for. White plays this extend, and black extends here. And actually, this decision, I checked it with Katago, it loses a lot according to the AI. I didn't, when I just reviewed this game on my own, I didn't really think anything of it, but AI said, oh, you absolutely must sacrifice here. And I have to say, if this were a game that I was playing and it was like even, I would also think, oh, I absolutely must sacrifice here. Because these stones are just so small, black already is connected underneath, and this way white can get some power to help his group on the left, and this is the harmonious way to play it in the board. But how can Huang Lingshe do that? He'll just lose. Even though, he gets something, then black is strong everywhere, the game is over. So he plays this. He plays to fight. But this fighting, like, white now needs to save this group while he has this group. That group is, like, in danger of getting a powerful attack before white had a whole other weak group to take care of. And now, isn't it so much worse? There's many ways for black to play and be quite comfortable here. The obvious one is just to split, right? I mean, black could just jump and wait, and this white group will have to take care, and that white group is basically almost surrounded. Black could do that, but he played here instead. And the reason why he played it is the same kind of move that we saw last week in Zhang Ying's game. In that game, Rui Naiwei took the bait. She haned. In this game, Huang Lingshe knows better. He extended. The point is, the reason why people attach like this, when they attach to your weak group, the only thing they want is for you to hane and so that they can cut. You can see this idea. It wasn't new in 2021. It is all the way back in the 1600s, still being played by Zhu Jingyu. Hane and cut. That's what he wants. So Huang Lingshe knows that. He just pulls back like this. He says, you can't really cut me any like obvious way. Come on. Find a good way to play. Find a good way to split my groups. Find a good way to take a shape. And black is like, okay, I mean, I can't cut you directly. I could try to split you, but I'll be punished here. Let me just link myself up. Black's plan. Let you connect down in the center here. That'll be fine. As long as I link myself up, surround this weird cutting stuff that you've created in my upper right area, and make sure that everything that I have is strong. As long as you fight a fair fight from here, I'm going to be doing great as Zhu Jingyu's plan. And Huang Lingshe plays the very best move that causes the plan to have a problem. If he would have just done things the normal way and just like connect like this, I'm sure Zhu Jingyu would let him just wedge like this, and however Huang Lingshe wants to connect, that's fine. As long as Zhu Jingyu's group here is going to be fine, which it will be due to that Aji that I mentioned of how black can attack this group. Even, these two moves are going to be forcing is pretty easy to make two eyes at that group. Then black can just answer over here if he wants, or you can even try to play into the corner like this. His game is easy. This game is less easy. Huang Lingshe has cut here as a bait. It's like if white can capture that one black stone, which has now become a cutting stone, that would be really, really good for white. That would mean that he could save his group over here with that eye, potentially, and just like one more eye. And then if he can save this group over here with some other kind of, scam, really good shape way, then that's going to be a massive, massive gain for white, and white can even think about winning the game. So black should eat the stone, right? This is very natural, and even my AI agreed with it, although I personally would not play like this. This is very natural for black until suddenly you realize that this ko is pretty hard. Wade is gonna try to win this ko really hard, and if he does that, then he takes care of both of his groups on both sides, and even the black right side can get in trouble. Well, black had a plan. He was like, yeah, but I can kill the whole bottom left. And Huang Runshe is like, so what? And black's like, I literally killed the whole bottom left, dude. Like, yeah, you were alive there, but now you're not. This is huge, guys. This is absolutely massive. How many stones is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 15? I don't know. There's a whole bunch of other points besides. There's like 40 points. He just gave up 40 points to win the ko, to connect here. The only way that this can be worth for Huang Lingshe, that this game can be winnable for Huang Lingshe, is if he can really attack the black group on the right. And so that's what he tries to do. He targets here. And Zhu Jingyu has a really hard time now. Objectively, this is the best position Zhu Jingyu has had all match. You know, when I put it in Katago, it says black is winning by 45 points or something like that. Like black has gained from the beginning of this game because he killed a whole group. Look, it's so great for black. He killed a group. He's not dead. He killed a group. It's fine. Subjectively, in terms of how easy it is to play, I've hardly seen any harder positions for the black player in any handicap game. It's so difficult to hold on to a group with no eyes that's this big, this difficult to sacrifice. This is the ultimate of heavy groups, you know? Black would love to sacrifice the tail here, but it's like 50 points. How can you sacrifice 50 points? It's just not possible, right? So how are we going to do it? Black plays here. It's already a mistake. The correct way is to play this one. If you connect here, then Huang Yusho is planning to attack somehow with a Tiger's Mask, something like this, try to surround this black group. Black needed to aggressively try to come out, meaning he can come out into the center here, he can sacrifice whatever, as long as he has a friend, a white group, which he is targeting as he runs out, it can be efficient. It's not efficient if he tries to run out or save himself without a target. You know, originally, if he would just run out immediately, like this, something like that, if white can just become very strong here, then when black continues trying to run, he will naturally kill his own topside. That's why black didn't want to run like this. That's why black ran this way. He thought, I need a target to run. Let me target the bottom right. It looks like the white group here is not that well connected to the stones in the center. So he targets it. And Huang Lingshe plays here. He's so annoying. Huang Lingshe plays here because he says, can he really kill that? Can you really? Like, I know you're targeting me, but let me just poke at your cuts here. Let me create a cut on the fourth line so I can kill your stones over here after you can't kill me, because I don't think you can. That's what Huang Lingshe is doing. That initial strategy that he had in the bottom left where he creates weak groups, now he can do it for real. Because now we have an interesting position, and Huang Lingshe is willing to completely leave this group for a full move just to create some cuts in black shape and say, capture me, I dare you. It is extremely, extremely tough play. Black plays a cut on the bottom side. I don't think these are exactly good exchanges, but he made them. And then he played here. And this is definitely not a good move. White connects, and this is definitely not a good move. What black has done here is he's hard committed. He said, I am killing this group in the bottom right. I know I can do it. And white says, well, can you? He just runs it, he cuts in the center so that he has a friend to target as he runs out, and he just runs it out. This is not that hard to read. Not hard to read at all. It's just, oh, he cuts and runs out. Everyone can read this. But at the end, It's really clear what happened. White has a net on those 2 stones, or he can capture the black dumpling in the center. White is safe. White is safe, and there's still a cutting point over here that White created when he played that obscene push, that crazy push, and dared Black to capture him, and Black couldn't capture him. So what is Black been doing? I mean, Black has to trade back now. There's no other. You can't just like continue extending and let White net and then do nothing. Like he has to try to do something here. He has to try to make something happen, but White cuts and captures the whole bottom right in Sente. And then he cuts here and cuts here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wei has obviously gained so much already. But Black is still leading. Because the opening was fine, and he was fine. So even though Wei has managed to capture the entire bottom right in Sente, I mean, he had to fix himself in the center afterwards, and Black still has the move. He chooses to come back and fix this Atari. It's a very sensible move. Very sensible. But Wei eats these stones, and from here on, Huang Yunshe wins the game. It was Black's final losing move to connect that Atari, actually. It's crazy. This is, kind of connection is normally so big, but in this position, Black really needed to save here. Because this one is going to be forcing. I mean, Wait still needs to capture these 2 stones somehow. And the point is, the reason why this was so important, Black needs to remember that he can attack the White group on the left side. And he needs to actually get the value out of that. At this point, he can come back to connect if he wants, but probably better is somehow keep the pressure on. If he can get the value out of this and then connect here, then Black could actually get a good position. I mean, he's managed to save these stones in Sente, put a lot of pressure on White. This is a playable game. This game, where White captures these stones, not only means White never has to capture these 2 stones, it's so many points, and White's group on the left side is also super strong. It was so big. And so Black is behind. Black is behind. The thing is, Zhu Xingyu knows he's behind. I think he does. I think he knows he's behind, and he challenges now as if he's the one giving Huang Lingshe a handicap. Suddenly is Black doing the aggressive move. He says, hey, I'm going to take the whole top side. That would be too big. The number of stones I have. Show me what you can do. Huang Lingshe plays this tiger's mouth and is attached. This is what Huang Lingshe can do. This is super, super annoying. Huang Lingshe is telling Zhu Xingyu, hey, your 4 stones in the corner, they still have a lot of weaknesses. So you need to make sure, as you defend your top side, you don't get chased over there. So Zhu Xingyu tries to play defensively here. He tries to link up to those 4 stones, make sure that he's stable everywhere. And Huang Lingshe plays the cut. Of course, whenever you have 2 targets, and you're in an area where you're like dying everywhere, if you just cut somewhere, force your opponent to choose a side and choose the other place, often it will work out extraordinarily well. In this case, that's what happened. Zhu Xingyu eventually chose to extend here. It was a mistake because Huang Lingshe could easily take a Ponu key here, and then when Black connects back to his 4 stones, saving them naturally, White plays here, threatening to connect up to his group on the top side, and then just attaches and lives. He just broke the top side, making a living group inside, and got endgame at the same time while he did it. And defended his weakness at the same time while he did it. It's way too good. It's way too good. From here on, the game, it's relatively close. It's not that close. White is leading by about 10 points. Even though there's no Komi, even though he gave 3 stones, even though he doesn't actually do the endgame in the center very well, to be honest. It wasn't so bad, and at this moment, Zhu Xingyu resigns. Huang Lingshe wins the first game of the match, the first winning game of Blood and Tears. I thought it was really interesting to see how Huang Lingshe actually changed the way he played. He made it objectively worse than the previous 3 games, but he managed to make that crazy fight, even though Zhu Xingyu played actually really quite well in the start of the fight. Lots of moves that I didn't think were going to be blue that I checked with the AI and it agreed with Zhu Xingyu. Huang Yanshe just got to that position where some crazy thing was going on and finally could show his skill, could show the reason why he is one of the greatest players of all time. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, go ahead and check. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.